It's the Ben Skin Show, 103.3 FM, ESPN, and we are here with the legendary Jimmy Johnson. Of course, great success with the Dallas Cowboys, and now we're back here hosting a Super Bowl without the Cowboys. With the weather and the way everything is going, what's your first impression on what you think is going on in Jerry's mind right now with the weather?
Well, I talked to Jerry yesterday. We were over at the stadium, and he's upbeat and enthusiastic, and we're going to actually have good weather for the Super Bowl, and so I think the fans will enjoy that. Now, the early part of the week, some of the festivities were canceled, and so that's a concern. But I think as the week goes on, we'll be fine.
One of the best stories going on right now is whether or not Marquise Pouncey is or isn't going to play. The news yesterday, he's saying he's 75% likely that he's going to play. You're the coach of a Super Bowl team. You know he's the best player for the position, but how do you prepare not knowing? Is it best to just move on without him, or do you have to wait and see if he can go?
Yeah, I think, really, as a coach, you've got to, first of all, you got to know the player. You got to know, if he's able to go or not, and you got to listen to the doctors and the trainers and what their expectations are. Myself, I want a player that's 100% out there playing. I don't want even one that may be more talented. If he's concerned about his injury, or if he's at 75%, then I'm going to be concerned about that. The other thing is I want the player that's been practicing for the last couple of weeks. So myself, I wouldn't look for Pouncey to play. I would think that he would be over on the sideline, and this is just my guess.
By the way, do most people call you Jimmy or Coach?
A little of both. When I'm down in the Keys, all my buddies, about half of them call me Jimmy, and some of them still call me Coach. But I answer to either one.
I come from the school where once you're a coach, you're always a coach, so I have to call you Coach. One of the reasons you're out and about is because of the Crown Royal Safe Rides Home. What is the message you guys are trying to get out?
Well, the big thing is, first of all, for the people here in Dallas, Crown Royal's got marked vehicles throughout Dallas to where when people and adults are out partying, that they can have a safe ride home. Now, the other thing, and this is the main message, is for Crown Royal, for people throughout the country, and not only here in Dallas, but have a game plan. When you go out partying and you're getting ready for Super Bowls, etc., have a game plan. Have a designated driver. Make sure that no different than a coach and a team. Before you go out, say, okay, tonight, so-and-so's a designated driver, and we're going to be able to have a safe and enjoyable time out on the town. So have a game plan, have a designated driver, and then if you're in Dallas, look for those marked vehicles with Crown Royal for a safe ride home.
Now on our show, we're big fans of the Big Boy drink, Crown Royal Black. Fantastic drink. So not only do we enjoy the safe ride home, but we enjoy the Crown Royal Black that gets us to the safe ride home. Okay, what about the progression of Aaron Rodgers? I think we've kind of on our show put him in top 3, top 4 quarterback status. Now, what do you see when you see him play?
Well, we've thought that he's that way all along. I mean, Terry Bradshaw and I were on the sideline there in Chicago, and we were amazed at how quickly he gets rid of the football and how accurate he is. Now, after Peppers hit him, he wasn't near as sharp there the second half. But he is a talented quarterback, and no one ever expected this out of him because he was drafted late. In fact, drafted a lot later than what people expected. But he is a very talented individual.
Hey, Jimmy, I'm Ben Rogers, the other half of the show. How you doing?
Oh, good, Ben.
So we'll edit this later. Just want to jump in. Coach, why was Jason Garrett the right choice for Jerry and the Cowboys?
I think, with the threat of the lockout, I think the teams that kept their staff intact, they're going to have some continuity there. Now, the teams that are really changing coaches, if there is a lockout or if there's work stoppage, then they may only have a couple of weeks to get to know their players and put in their system before they actually start playing games. So I think they're going to be at a severe disadvantage. So this was not the year to change coaches. So I think that's a factor. The other thing is, I know Jason. I talked to Jason a few years ago when he was thinking about Atlanta or Baltimore, and Jason wanted to be with the Cowboys, so he stayed with the Cowboys. Now he came down to the Keys a couple of years ago, and he said, I'm getting ready to be a head coach, and he had a million questions. I mean, he is thoroughly prepared, and he has really, I think he's prepared himself for this opportunity. He's a very intelligent person. He's got a passion for the game. So I really think that he was the right choice for the Cowboys at this time.
Last night I couldn't sleep. I was so excited about this interview, and I knew this question I wanted to ask you. Garrett seemed to come in and change the culture in a short time, a quick turnaround. How much of the problem with the culture of the Cowboys is Jerry Jones?
Well, Jerry, see, a lot of people look at Jerry as a general manager and as the guy picking the players. But Jerry's not really the guy picking the players. It's a group effort. Now, it changed a little bit, when I left the Cowboys. Jerry was paying the bills, and I was working with the personnel. But after I left, the bills had been paid. And so Jerry wanted to be part of that. But not only Jerry be part of that, but his entire family. So it's not just Jerry, it's Stephen Jones, his son, it's also the scouting department, it's Tom Siskowski, it's Jason Garrett, and so it's a group effort as far as picking players. And so I think most people in the league would tell you it's a talented team. So they brought in the talent. Now you've got to make sure that talent performs at a high level. Now the one thing Jason Garrett did last year, when he took over, they started having more pad practices. And from all my information, they're going to have more pad practices in training camp. And that fits right along with what I like doing, because, when I went through, when I was coaching, we practiced in pads Wednesday and Thursday. We had shoulder pads on Friday every single week, and I didn't change from that. And so I think he's going to have his team a little bit more physical, and I think you get better by being physical. I think when you practice in sweats, like a lot of these teams do, and just like even getting ready for the Super Bowl, the Packers, they're practicing in pads. I think you get sloppy if you don't practice in pads.
One of the things we always say in the media, and maybe we're doing it wrong, but we always say that Jerry meddles. Does Jerry still meddle? Did he ever really meddle?
He really never meddled with me. And people, it's a misconception. As far as the decision making on personnel and football, he never, ever, not one day meddled with me. That was never, ever a problem. And now he's more involved, and his family's more involved now that I left. But I don't think that's a bad thing. I think it's fine. I think there's more said about that than what they should be saying.
Just one more question, we'll wrap
Sure.
it up.
Yeah.
Okay, Jimmy, now there's going to be pressure as far as the Ring of Honor for the Cowboys to get some of your era Cowboys in there. We have the triplets, but like Haley and some of those guys. How much pressure does Jerry have to still honor some of the older guys? Drew Pearson's the name that always comes up. Do you think Jerry needs to honor those older guys, or is there now going to be focused on y'all's era?
Well, I'm the wrong person to ask on any kind of individual accolades. People talk to me about, players going into Hall of Fame, et cetera. And I said, yeah, really, so much of these individual awards are politics and media and publicity and things I don't want to get into, because you got the ultimate team sport. And, just like, now, hey, I love Troy Aikman and Emmitt Smith and Michael Irvin, and they're in the Hall of Fame. But, we led the league in defense. That defense really had a big part of us winning Super Bowls. And so it's hard to take an individual and say this was the person that was responsible. Especially, I love what Palomalo said in winning the Defensive Player of the Year award just here yesterday. He said, hey, a lot of the guys could have won this award. He said, this is the ultimate team sport, and so not one person does it.
Well, Jimmy, thank you for the time. Thank you to Crown Royal and for the Safe Rides Home campaign. Very, very smart. Enjoy your stay back in Dallas, man.
All right, Skin, I appreciate it.